Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. And guys, it seems like a lot of news has been coming out recently. Very important details, indeed. Now I'm going to go through some of the most important details from the publicized Bill HINMAN deposition with you in this video. What's more, it contains nearly no redactions, which is a huge plus. To begin, I will say that Attorney Deaton did an excellent job of drawing attention to the many instances where Bill HINMAN blatantly lied under testimony. In addition, Attorney Deaton has been quoted as saying, "I am disappointed by Ripple lawyers with regard to this HINMAN deposition on one key point, which will be discussed later on in this video. But I do want to clarify something before we go any further. I come from no financial or legal background. You shouldn't buy or sell anything based on what I say or write because I'm not a lawyer or a financial advisor. Just a hobbyist here that occasionally posts films to YouTube on various crypto-related topics." Okay, fine. The snapshot summary of the HINMAN deposition is attached to this tweet from Attorney Deaton. He lied and didn't tell the complete, unadulterated truth. In the near future, I will elaborate and provide evidence. And yeah, he most definitely did. Take a wild guess at what two words are most redacted in the HINMAN deposition, tweeted Attorney Deaton separately. So, it's mostly, but not completely, uncensored, as I indicated at the outset. Ashley Prosper, a member of the XRP community, took a stab at it and guessed that Consensus and Lubin were responsible for the omissions. Deaton has said this before, but he insists that you guess the two most censored terms. That's a reasonable assumption, too. Taking everything into account, that seems to be the case. This is presumably the case, I don't know for sure, of course. And so, Deaton went on, "Have a look at this lawyer. I won't confirm or deny anything," he said. The most heavily deleted word is the name of a firm, while the other is the name of a person. However, I will reveal what is already in the open record. For the sake of the film, I will not read the following section of the transcription, but it will appear on your screen. If you want to pause and read this, go ahead. Here's another example. If you'd like to take a break here to read, you can do so. For the sake of this film, I don't think it's necessary, but if you're really curious, it's there on your screen. Then, lawyer Deaton penned the following: the deposition of HINMAN took place on July 27, 2021, much before Judge Torres ordered the production of the email speech materials. The verdict by Judge Torres was issued on September 29, 2022. Okay, so that means HINMAN gave sworn testimony under oath in July of 2021, and a little over a year later, Judge Torres ruled that the emails and speech drafts HINMAN had been keeping should be turned over. Bill HINMAN probably didn't think that would happen, and he wasn't wrong. This actually happening proves beyond a reasonable doubt that he lied under oath. Here, Attorney Deaton claims that Stuart Alderety and Brad Garlinghouse tweeted that they had received the materials on October 22, 2015. This is 15 months after the deposition took place. Okay. That means the judge ordered the SEC to hand up the documents by the end of September of last year. Then, after a few weeks, Ripple finally got it. They apparently consumed it at the tail end of October and tweeted about it. The only problem is that we only found out about this 3 days ago. The following was tweeted by Brad Garlinghouse on October 20, 2022. The SEC would like you to believe that it prioritizes openness, clarity, and disclosure. Don't buy into their lies. You will be astounded by the shamelessness of their behavior here once the truth emerges. And thus, it reappeared in the wild 3 days ago. I guess it's clear now that I wasn't too surprised. However, I am also aware of the current situation. I can see how the material that was leaked could be alarming to the typical individual who isn't paying close attention. Shocking. Sure, I could do that. Of course, Deaton, the attorney, continues. And he adds, essentially, HINMAN had no idea the paperwork would be handed over. The attorney for the SEC advised HINMAN not to answer questions, citing privileges that the judge would later rule against the defendant. Everyone is familiar with the June 4 email from HINMAN, in which he refers to his upcoming meeting with Vitalik Buterin to verify his knowledge of the Ethereum network and the Ethereum Foundation as the Ether speech. There you have it. This much was exposed. I'm going to assume that most of you already know this, but we confirmed that Bill Hinman indeed did speak with Vitalik Buterin, one of the Ethereum's original creators. That makes sense to him. Do you agree that this is of significant interest and value? Okay, sure. At this point, it becomes abundantly clear that Bill Hinman blatantly lied under oath. Deaton keeps going. According to him, before Hinman's June 14, 2018 speech, he was questioned about whether or not he had spoken with anyone except SEC personnel regarding the speech's content. That wraps up my justification of Ethereum's price. And his response can be found here. I'll expand it to fill the screen. The deposition contains this information. He said that, not on the substance, in response to your inquiry. I'm very sorry. And certainly not in terms of substance. Why are you even bothering to communicate with Vitalik Buterin? Because once more, he needed that to verify his grasp of the Ethereum platform. That is, without a doubt, a discussion on important matters. He's lying under oath and he knows it. Because of all the silliness going on here, my net worth is unquestionably lower than it otherwise would be. This is because the confusion in the crypto markets has led to the destruction of true wealth. And he plays a significant role in this. After that, Deaton's lawyer added something. The transcript indicates that Stuart Alderete sat in on the deposition of Hinman. I've located the exact second when he spit out his coffee and this quote is shown. I'll expand it for your viewing pleasure. You know, with regard to Ethereum, one of the things that was relatively intriguing was its transparency, to paraphrase Bill Hinman. Let me be clear, I support Ethereum. Truth be told, I made my first cryptocurrency purchase with ETH. Yes, I still have it. Since last November, 2017. My purchase date was November 10, 2017. I then went on to acquire additional stock. However, that level of openness is just hilarious. You know, the Ethereum Foundation, or even the famous "How much ETH does consensus hold?" question posed to Joe Lubin on stage by Brad Garlinghouse. And he simply refused to divulge any information. My apologies. What exactly do we mean when we talk about transparency? Surely you're joking. Then there's what lawyer John Deaton has to say about it. Sometimes, he said, you can make a promise as if you had clairvoyance. I said that Thatcher was involved in the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance when Hinman was asked if he knew Simpson. He would pretend not to know it when he delivered the speech. The court unsealed his deposition. He absolutely must at this point. For the simple reason that admitting knowledge is a violation of 18 U.S.C. 208. Right. The fact that Simpson Thatcher is an EDA member is therefore what he is referring to. There is a monetary incentive at play. Bill Hammond should not have given the Ethereum free pass speech if he was aware of the conflict of interest. In my opinion, he was aware of it all along. The problem is that there are simply too many options. I have my suspicions. But certainly, that's a guess I'm willing to make. In light of that, here is the question that was posed to him. You further claimed that you did not know if Simpson Thatcher was a part of that alliance when you joined the SEC, correct? Specifically, referring to all the money made through the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. This is Bill Hinman, and he has an answer for you. Now he maintains, quote, I had no idea the partnership even existed, much less that Simpson was involved in it with him. And now, if you're interested in reading this, I'll expand it to fill your entire screen. This is what lawyer John Deaton told me, but I don't need to know it for the sake of this film. Don't move forward just yet. However, I intend to press on nonetheless. Then, attorney Deaton added, I was disappointed the Ripple lawyers didn't ask Hinman why he didn't copy the ethics division like he did other divisions. That his speech had been cleared by the ethics office for potential conflicts of interest was not questioned, however, did surprise me. It's likely that disagreements would have been uncovered. Let's stop for a moment. In fact, that's a pretty big squandered chance at the very least. Therefore, I concur. It's disheartening, to say the least. Although Ripple's legal team is top-notch, this seems like a squandered opportunity. However, no company is without flaws. Okay. But seriously, that seems like a no-brainer to you as well. Because, once again, Bill Hinman was told things like, you can't even take lunch while they're under such intense monitoring. No one at Simpson Thacher is allowed to accept lunch money or phone calls from outside the company. You mean to tell me that the ethics department had no input with such a life-changing address? That was a fantastic question to not ask. Attorney Deaton maintains that such conflicts would have been uncovered. His law firm was an Enterprise Ethereum Alliance participant and represented Canaan, a manufacturer of Bitcoin Ether mining equipment. Is there a taboo subject that retired SEC attorneys won't discuss with their colleagues? It's discouraging for those of us who aren't part of the club that people seem to accept these disagreements and the appearance of improprieties as inevitable features of our system. Someone then replied to Deaton, are you implying that the Ripple lawyers, given that some of them used to work at SEC, may be afraid to dig too far into corruption at SEC? Perhaps they didn't feel the need to inquire since they are familiar with the system, says Attorney Deaton. I make an effort not to. It's not cool to criticize other lawyers on a Monday, especially competent ones. What I was just told is the opinion of a lawyer who has never worked for the SEC and is unfamiliar with how the agency functions. And I think that's quite reasonable. Additionally, there is this. According to a tweet from WhaleChart, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse claims the SEC used the lack of regulatory certainty as a weapon, causing widespread disruption across the industry. Is that not the honest truth? And then the lawyer Deaton retweeted, adding, if the Hinman emails reveal anything, it's that Brad Garlinghouse's remark was spot on. According to Hinman's testimony, only 2 of the Howey test's 3 prongs are required. There are 2 tests for the third factor, therefore some people count 4. Then, Hinman introduced new considerations, such as whether or not an entity controls a significant number of tokens and whether or not there is adequate decentralization. According to the Office of General Counsel, a consideration Hinman brought up was unimportant. Others at the SEC voiced concerns that his remarks might lead to a regulatory vacuum and lead the SEC to regulate in an area over which it may not have authority. They warned Hinman that his speech would just add to the market's current level of uncertainty. To be fair, he went ahead and delivered the speech, and he was the one who asked it be posted to the SEC's website. His deposition testimony is the same as the source. In light of the SEC's stated objective, it is surprising that the agency has permitted this to continue without changing course. That's dead on. Perfectly accurate. So, it's great to see that. That brings us to the heart of the matter that the release of this deposition was intended to address. He definitely lied, and it caused havoc on the market. Here we are in 2023 with the same expressions of what the hell is going on everyone's faces. Obviously, I can't provide you financial advice. Nothing I say or write should be used as a basis for making financial decisions. Please like and subscribe my channel. See you in the next video. Bye.